I said some time ago, and I've said it a couple times on Reddit and Discord and the forums about plastic spoons and plastic silverware. And I said it a couple of times recently, and I got like weird questions from people. So I figured that I should probably make a video, of course, explaining what it is that I mean when I say, well, just use some silverware. It's easy. So if you don't have scrapers of any kind, I have a ton over here. There's a big box of random scrapers. If you don't have a scraper for whatever reason, or if you're just getting into game cleaning, you don't have lottery ticket scratchers for whatever reason, spudgers, smudgers, priors, whatever you want. If you don't have those handy and you want to clean a game, you can absolutely clean a game, for the most part, with a plastic spoon. Okay? Hear me out. This is not like a video where I'm going to show you, like, here's how you recap a Game Gear with a plastic spoon. I'm going to show you just the basics of why a plastic spoon and maybe some cleaning wipes or a plastic spoon and a paper towel will help you clean stuff. But there's going to be a little bit of a caveat. You do still need a 3.8 millimeter bit to open up the game cases themselves. Okay, so if for whatever reason you had the 3.8 millimeter bit and you didn't have like some scrapers or something, these are in a lot of iFixit toolkits. These are in a lot of cell phone repair kits, laptop repair kits, the 3.8. That's sometimes they call it a game bit, whatever. These a lot of times will show up in phone repair kits, and you might end up having one. You might not necessarily have scrapers of different kinds. You might just have this toolkit that has just this little guy in here. But hey, you know what? If you have a plastic spoon, you're going to be all right. It does not have to be clear, first of all. It can be whatever kind of plastic spoon you have available. It should just be a plastic spoon, okay? You don't want to use a plastic knife. I mean, you can, whatever. You could use a plastic knife. You don't want to use a plastic fork, though, because I've had some where the prongs of the fork are actually kind of sharp and can actually scrape into some things, and it's dumb, and you're like, why is this doing this? This doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to show you really quick what I do on some games. This game is actually undergoing a bit of a science project where, oh no, I got to use the spoon. There's some decoloration and some staining. Someone used isopropyl alcohol on this label. We'll get it in the light there so you can see. Someone used isopropyl alcohol on the label to try to clean off a sticker. And it did what isopropyl alcohol do, and it started to whiten the surface a little bit. Eventually, I'm going to try to either recolor this or just do a label swap. I don't know yet. We're going to see kind of what the market bears. I could potentially do a recoloring. The issue with recoloring, and why I don't talk about it a whole bunch, is that when you recolor, so you go in here and you literally take inks and fill in the color, recoloring, right? You with me? Cool. The reason I don't talk about it too much is that you also have to redo the plastic finish, and it's a process. You have to spray the plastic finish, you have to let it sit, you have to let it cure. It's a whole thing. And your finish ends up being a little weird after you're all done. There's inconsistencies. I try to not do that whenever possible. I'd much rather do a label swap. If you have been listening this far, I've been asking a lot of people this, and I'm just curious about their opinion overall. If I were to reprint this label, this Donkey Kong 64, if I were to go online, find a high-res copy of this label, and print it out on the correct paper, so the correct thickness, the correct gloss, everything else, and print it off, remove this label, and put a new label on, would this cart be a repro? Would this cart become a reproduction if I replace the label? And would I have to disclose that this is a reproduction, but just the label? Does that impact how you, as the buyer, would view this game? Would you see this as, well, it's entirely a repro? Well, the board is the same, and the back is the same, and the front is the same. The only thing that's different is the label. Would you see a difference in that? So, answer down in the comments if you have gotten this far. If I swap the label on this, does this become a reproduction cart? Let me know what you think. I don't know if there's really a right answer or wrong answer. I'm genuinely just curious to hear what people think about this. It's just interesting to me. So we'll get started, and I'll show you what we do. We're going to use cleaning wipes in this instance, just because the COVIDs, and I imagine everyone has cleaning wipes floating around as is. If you don't, you could do the same thing with a wet paper towel, okay? Works exactly the same. What you want to do is you want to get some liquid into the seams, okay? So I'm just pressing down with a little bit of pressure, and you can already see that it's starting to clean up a little bit, starting to get on the towel a little bit. But I'm not getting a lot of the stuff deep down in there. So I go to my spoon, and you got to kind of angle it in a couple of weird ways. So see, I got to angle it like this, and you just give it a little bit of a scrape. Sometimes you got to turn it a little bit, move it around a little bit, and you can feel when you start to hit the dirt, you'll feel that it starts to get a little rough on you, a little tense on you. I've done this trick before a couple of times where you wrap the old spoon. See that? Okay. And this is just from a spoon, and it can even be a wet paper towel. Okay. And you're going to be able to clean up the inside of that really well. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what is he doing? This is obvious. It might be. But to some people, they might not necessarily realize that you can get pretty decent results by just using a spoon and some kind of liquid. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on this opposite side. So you're going to take your wet paper towel, wet cloth, whatever it is, and your spoon. You're just going to rub it into that crease there. See that? It's not dumb if it works. I mean, it could be both. Okay. And we're not going to clean this entire cart. I just want to give just an overview idea of what it is that you can do with, a spoon. So a lot of times you'll hear me tell people, well, if you don't have a scraper, grab a plastic spoon. What I'm implying by that is you can use this as a tool in a couple of different ways. You have the edges on here, you have a long side on here, you have the spoon front on here, and you can use it in a lot of different ways to get into the creases that you probably wouldn't normally be able to get into with just your hands. Everyone has a spoon floating around, hopefully. If not, they're like $1 for 50. Okay, so now we're going to take it open real quick. And, oops, there we go. We're going to open it up, and the next thing I'm going to show you is just kind of a basic how you clean the sides. So, it's actually looking for my little magnet pad. I don't know where it goes. I have my little stick. Anyway, this is actually really clean on the inside, but that's okay. Same thing. You just take the spoon and you just rub it along the insides. You'll feel when you start to get a little bit of resistance, and when you get a little bit of resistance, you know that there is one of two things. Either there is dirt on the inside that you're pulling up, or there's dirt on the edge of the spoon and you need to just clean it off. Okay? Same rules apply here. You can take the spoon, wrap the cloth, and go along the edges. Okay? Look at that. Clean it up real nice. This one was actually really clean already. You just want to make sure you don't get too much water or cleaning liquid anywhere. You want to keep it fairly dry. That looks good. Same thing on here. Just wrap it around and you kind of move it so you can shift it and get to a new clean spot when you need to. Actually, I will get that off. Since I'm here. Oh, you're probably wondering what I'm using. Okay. You get this every once in a while. You get this mark. It comes from the back of the shielding. Okay, so see that? See that mark? Okay. First thing I do is I just take a little bit of pink eraser to it. And that'll get rid of the majority of the marking. You don't want to go too heavy with the magic eraser, with the pink eraser, because it can get rid of a little bit of the finish. But honestly, I don't know. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Do you want the finish and there to be nice and shiny? Which this didn't really do too much, but it did get rid of the black marking. Goo Gone doesn't really work to get rid of shielding rubbing. I wish it did, but it don't. But that'd be pretty cool. It is amazing that I can actually focus long enough. See, now I'm just actually cleaning it. It's amazing that I can focus long enough to actually make a video and not just randomly resort to cleaning other things. Check it out though, you don't want to use the pink eraser on the back here, okay? That will remove a bit more of the texture than you want to. Also, this is not a pink eraser video. This is a spoon video. I'm rushing a little bit through this first half because this first half I imagine is kind of dull, maybe. There's probably a lot of people that are watching this going, yeah, we know, that's duh. So, get that out of here. And the other thing I'm gonna show you, Top Angler, real bass fishing. I mean, it's not, it's a video game, but real bass fishing on your PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system. This has water damage. Also, it's not complete. Also, it had poor water damage. See that? See that? This little guy, we have some plans for this little guy. I won't go into details because it's super secret, but it does have to do with resaturating the paper, pressing, and rolling the paper out to see if we can get rid of the staining. That's what we have that guy for, though. You'll notice I haven't done a video on mitigating water damage. The water damage and the moisture damage videos that I've made are basically just me going, this is ruined, you're done for. Because the process that I have to get rid of water damage is not successful. I won't show you processes and steps that I don't have pretty good success with, okay? That's why there hasn't been a Blockbuster video. Well, kind of. You've seen pictures. I haven't done a Blockbuster sticker video yet. I posted it on Instagram, a couple other places. I haven't done the video yet because the process that I use it for is not at a good success rate yet. It's still kind of low. So if there are processes that I talk about on Discord or Reddit or Twitch or Instagram or any of those things, Twitter, any of those places, if there are processes that I talk about that you don't see on this channel, it's because the success rate is really low. And I need the success rate to be, I try to average about a 70 to 80% success rate on any process, doing it about 10 times, just to make sure that what I show you is actually effective, okay? So the most of the time, the things that I show you are things that I have a pretty good idea work really well, or I've done them a million times and I know that they work. That's a little behind the scenes. I know that the spoons work because that's what I used to use at GameStop. What we're gonna do is we're gonna remove that sticker, and that sticker with Goo Gone and a plastic spoon. Why not heptane in this instance? Goo Gone is a little bit thicker. I like Goo Gone for a lot of different reasons, okay? And it's not a matter of, oh, he likes heptane more than Goo Gone or something like that. It's that I like it for different things and different reasons. It is thicker. It has a higher viscosity, which means that I'm able to control where it goes a little bit. If you watch the Saving Yoshi NES video, you'll see why I prefer Goo Gone, or I think in that video I use Crud Cutter. You'll see why I like it a little bit better. Because it's a little thicker, you can do some stuff with it. Since we're working in the top corner of a PS2 case, as I'm doing this, my cat, who is right over there, has been eyeballing me this entire time, and he might try to get up. Hopefully not, but he might, because he's terrible. So, Goo Gone. He's going to jump up here any minute now, probably as soon as I start pouring the Goo Gone. Seriously. He did. At least he's predictable. Hang on. Okay. He also gave the most pathetic... What was that? Not really a cry. He gave a pretty pathetic noise when I lifted him up, as though I was ruining his entire evening. No, I can't put him on the camera, because I can't have gloves on him, because I don't have cat gloves small enough, and I don't want him to be doxxed. Check it out. We soaked the 2 stickers. I don't think you can dox a cat. We soaked the 2 stickers in Goo Gone. We're going to let them sit for a second, and then we're going to go to town with the plastic spoon. If you're using a plastic spoon on a plastic case, be careful about the angle. Same thing as a regular scraper. With a regular scraper, it has a nice sharp edge, which means you can gouge the plastic. Same thing with a spoon, nice sharp edge, you can gouge the plastic. Cat one more time. Maybe if I just... If you have cats, you know that cats will pick the worst possible time to use the litter box or to jump on something. And so far, he's done that multiple times. So we're gonna take the plastic spoon, same thing like we would do with the scraper, is you just keep a nice high angle. So see how high of an angle I got going with this guy? Let's see if I can do this without pouring everything. Nice high angle, and you just wanna kind of pick at the edges, okay? Same thing, you want a card in the back to make sure you're getting a good, nice hard surface to scrape onto. You'll notice I flipped it upside down. Sometimes you get a little bit better purchase that way. Sometimes you could just do it flat like that. Sometimes not at all. There we go. The plastic's also pretty loose. Oh, my. I was gonna say the plastic's also pretty loose, so this should be a little bit easier. But the big thing is you just want to make sure you're not hitting any divots. Your fingernails can scratch the plastic sleeve. That's why I tend to not use fingernails, because your fingernails can actually leave a mark. This isn't the best case either, but it had some good stickers. Yeah, so you got a little ambitious and I got a scrape on there. But that's all right. Okay. Do this one as well. This one is a paper-based sticker. It's a paper-based sticker because as soon as I put any liquid on top of it, you'll see that it turns translucent, which tells me that it is a paper-based sticker, which means that I can get away with using a spoon or a softer tool to scrape it up because it's not going to have a plastic top layer. It's just going to be paper and a thicker cardstock paper on top that has the printing on it. In short, that means it's easier to remove. Get your plastic spoon. Some people were asking for more science in the video, and here I am doing the complete opposite. But that's okay. Oh, a cat hair. What are the odds? Now, why am I not having as much success with this as I do with the plastic scraper? Honestly, it's the edge. The edge of a plastic scraper is just so perfect for it. Oh, but see, there we go. The edge of the plastic scraper is so perfect for removing this kind of a thing, and you don't have a sharp edge on the plastic. You don't want to use back here. This is actually the mold point. This is where they're all molded in a big long row, and then they snap them off. So you're going to have a little bit of... They don't do their post-processing very well on these spoons, I tell you. But anyway, I bet you'd want to see what this number is so you can steal my $25. Too bad. Not going to happen. Actually, I don't even know if this works anymore. And if someone wants to try and steal it, have at it. So we... Oh, the case is filthy. Okay, hang on. I can't not... Oh, it's mold, that's why. Oh, duh, it's mold. Actually... Probably is. That's okay. That's why you learn how to get replacement PS2 cases. So you don't have to deal with this kind of stuff. So there you go. Kind of a short one, probably not. I make really long videos. That's what I mean when I say grab a plastic spoon when it comes to cleaning things. You can use it. It works. You can use it in a pinch. It works really well. You can use anything. You can use anything. You just don't want to use anything metal, anything steel. You don't want to use like wood or anything. You want to use something like plastic that's a little pliable, that kind of thing. Which is weird if you think about it. This plastic is the same as this plastic, and it's the same as that plastic when you get down to it. But not really. Well, kind of. Well, polyethylene. Anyway, that's it for this one. That's what I mean when I say use a spoon. They're super useful for getting in there and scraping out gunk, checking out things. I got a PSP game that has stickers on it. That'll be the next video coming up. And I do post these in order, so that actually works out. It'll be a PSP game with Goo Gone. I don't hate Goo Gone. You saw that I used Goo Gone. The reason that I used Goo Gone on these stickers right here is that Goo Gone, the viscosity of Goo Gone, oh heck, if you're still here, you probably want to know about the science. The viscosity of Goo Gone allows for it to permeate the surface. It'll do it again here in a second. For it to permeate the surface a little bit more substantially than heptane would. Heptane will soak the surface, absolutely. But as heptane is soaking, as heptane is doing its thing, doing its jam, it's going to start driving off. Interestingly enough, the bottle of heptane that I always have, it's also partially the cap. It doesn't really close that well. But the bottle of heptane that I have, that I keep near me pretty much at the workbench at all times, this was full about a week ago. Okay, it is empty. Heptane dries really quickly. In the entire time that I was rambling on about heptane and that dry bottle, Goo Gone is still wet. Okay, so the Goo Gone is still wet. I can still move it around. I can still scrape it under things. And why that's important and why that's helpful in this instance is that I could put Goo Gone underneath a sticker and then tilt the sticker and let the Goo Gone soak under the sticker. And as it soaks under the sticker, I can peel it back off. Okay, I don't want anyone to think that I'm hating on Goo Gone, because I don't. I also use it a whole bunch, so there you go. It depends. It depends on the circumstance. It depends on what you need it for. That kind of thing. Let's see. This looks pretty good. Top Angler. Donkey Kong 64. The best video game made on the Nintendo 64. That's not true. It's not even in my top 5. It's in my top 5. It's in my top 5. That's what you use a spoon for. Again, just it's a matter of finding tools that you can use and then adapting to them. I was using Goo Gone and plastic spoons when I was at GameStop. As I kind of grew and advanced and leveled up, I started to use lottery ticket scrapers because why not? I'll use spudgers. Honestly, if you want to get yourself a good kit, I am working on a kit video to give you guys a rundown on what everything is. Honestly, if you want to get yourself a good kit, look at a cell phone repair kit. And that'll have the majority of the pieces and stuff that you want. These I post all the time. They are Scotty peelers. These are the plastic versions of them. They are just my bread and butter. But I have different tools for different reasons. It really just depends. And a lot of these, oddly enough, are available on Amazon. Because I started to make these videos during COVID, so I needed to get a lot of stuff that I knew I could get from COVID because I couldn't go to the art supply stores, which is where I got a lot of my old stuff. I am always trying to find variations of these tools for people that live internationally. Europe's fairly easy to do. Australia's a little tough sometimes. There are parts of Europe that are really hard to do. South America is very difficult, but I'm trying to find things that are similar. Same thing with Goo Gone. I have a couple of things for a couple of different countries that you can use. Plastic spoons. I wonder if there's a country that doesn't have plastic spoons. Anyway, plastic spoons. It's a way to start the toolkit. And ultimately, like I always say when I get schmaltzy at the end here, is that as video game prices continue to rise and continue to baffle this old man here, I just continue to see how important it is to be able to maintain and restore these old games, because this game will go somewhere at some point and someone will play it. This isn't my copy. My copy wouldn't have that. This copy will go somewhere for someone, and your goal is to make sure that every copy of every game that you get looks good, if you can, if that's the thing that you like to do. I've been going through and doing a lot of 64s lately. There's some messed up ones. Yeah, these are all ones that need to be cleaned. This one's interesting. I don't know if I'll do a video on it. Maybe. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. That is actually what I think is dried rubber. Not like bubble gum, but I actually think it's like a dried rubber band, honestly, or a dried rubber band packaging. If I made a video, I would be able to tell you why I know that it is not gum, that it is not that kind of organic material. It doesn't have parts of it that should make it gum, and it doesn't do things that dry gum would. Anyway. See, it's hard because sometimes I want to get into the science and sometimes maybe not. And cruising world. When I die, play Jungle Beats at my funeral. That's all for now. Plastic spoon works just as good as a scraper in some instances. If nothing else, it'll get you started, and it'll help you clean consoles. The same things that we did for these cartridges are the same things you can do for cleaning consoles. Just wrap up the end of this in a wet paper towel and a disinfecting rag, whatever it is that you have. Get around all the seams, corners, and edges. It's the same thing as a toothbrush, that kind of thing. You know, these two together, most people have at least these two things. These two things together and some wet paper towels, you can clean up most of your consoles. Honestly, you can clean up most of your consoles with just these two things. Maybe a screwdriver. And you can clean up most of your consoles. There's no reason to have filthy consoles. And the stores aren't going to do it. So, until next time, which next time is PSP with Goo Gone. So until then, like I said, I got a stack of games. So I'm going to keep cleaning. All right? See you guys.